attention grid, will all non-essential personnel leave the grid now.
Hello and welcome to round 1 of GSC 100% provided by Racing Concept Leagues. I'm Matt and these are the highlights from the first round here at Interlagos. Jan Larsen qualified on pole, Dave Ellis second, Kemp actually qualified third but unfortunately had to start from pit lane. Neil Asko was 4th, Nick Obi 5th, 6th went to Gunnar Kramer, 7th was James Reed, 8th was Nigel Lee, 9th was Matt By, 10th was Tim Steele, and rounding out the grid in 11th place was Andrew Jones. Bit of kerfuffle going on in the background as advertising boards go flying and the safety car pulled in. The race had started and it was a good start by Larsen, who held the lead into the first corner. Nick Ovey went right round the outside of Asko to take third, even despite the slight contact between the two. Further back in the field everyone made it through safely apart from Matt By, who decided he wanted to run into the Alco on the inside there. Andrew Jones stayed in 11th. And that was Kemp on his way out the pit lane to start his recovery. So it was close at the front between Ellis and Larsen, and so far Larsen was getting the better of Ellis. Ovey still third, and he gained a small advantage over Asko by this time. Brakes locking. Reed and Lee had a battle starting at this point. Reed trying round the outside to Lee, but that wasn't going to work. Takes quite a bit of curb there. Steele still 10th. And Andrew Jones still in 11th. Back at the front, Larsen managed to complete the first lap in the lead with Ellis, Ovey and Asko. This is Kemp recovering, this is with Andrew Jones pulling over to let him through. There's Kemp up into 10th place now. The battle between Reed and Lee ended in tears as Lee got his braking caught out by... No, that was Reed, sorry, getting his braking caught out by Lee, and that sent him into the wall. Looking back from Lee's car now. That gave Sim Steele an extra position. now further on, free of Reed. Lee makes contact with Kramer. Who appeared to turn straight in on the Malaysian driver. Reed making his fight back through the field and decides he needs to take a early pit stop to repair the damage sustained in that incident. First driver to actually hit the pit lane in the first round. Back with Lee and Kramer now. Kramer making a massive lock up into the centre S and getting all out of shape on the exit of the second part. Lee's going to have a better run coming onto the back straight. Kramer tried to defend, and at this point Lee was alongside him. And somehow they avoided contact. Lee wasn't done yet though. He had a better run on Kramer coming up the hill, but thought wisely against making a move. There's also a car went off whilst they were doing that, and that was in the form of James Reed going for a spin, recovering from his earlier incident with Lee. Right in front of the leaders, so he had to wait for all the traffic to pass before he could rejoin the track. And just a lap later, Kramer made a huge mistake coming into turn 4, which allowed Lee through. And shortly after, Kemp got down the inside of Matt By on his fight back from pit lane start. Andrew Jones was now the next car into pit lane in the FF1M sponsored AJ Motorsports. We now had a battle on between Kemp and Kramer, or 5th position I think it would have been. Kemp trying around the outside at turn 4. Couldn't quite make it there. Steele is also waiting in the background to pick up pieces should anything go wrong. Kemp with a better run up the hill, but no way through there. On board with Steele now for his point of view. Kemp trying to get down the inside into the next corner, and a slight contact under braking. Kemp with once again a better run, but no room at all for him to make the move. Kramer makes a mistake and spins it. Kemp barely gets through, but Steele runs straight into the back edge of Kramer's car. This is on board with Kramer now. Got the power on too early, and there's Steele right into the side of him. So that was 2 cars with damage, and Matt By picking up the pieces and gains 2 positions from that incident. Both cars continued on, but Steele was severely damaged, and he had to make an early pit stop to repair what looked to be either suspension or steering problems. Ovi was the first of the front runners to make their scheduled stop. Tyres and fuel, and then it was Jan Larsen just 1 lap later who decided he was now making his stop, as well as Ellis following him in. And right behind them in third place was Asco, who also decided it was a good time to stop, as well as hit the wall on pit entry. Not what you want just before you first stop. It was now a race between Ellis and Larson to see who could get out of pit lane first, and Asco parking just in between the two, making life difficult for Ellis on his exit out of his box. Ellis left his box first, and at one point it looked like he could perhaps beat Larson out the pits, but Larson just got out ahead. Ellis had gained a lot of time in the stops now though, and Larson didn't fit new tyres. Kemp was next to the front runners to make his stop, as well as Lee doing the same just in front of him. Lee getting the brakes all locked up, trying to slow down in time. As James Reed exits. Oh no, that wasn't James Reed, that was Ellis on his way out actually. So Ovi, after making his pit stop a lap earlier than Asco, came out pretty much side by side at pit exit. Looked like he might be able to take third coming into turn 4, but for some reason darted off to the right hand side of the track. This cost him a lot of time. There was now a really good battle shaping up between Ellis and Larson. Ellis was clearly the quicker car at this point, and the smaller contact there as well between the two. Reed just in front of them, who made a mistake, but it wasn't a problem as Ellis used push to pass and get himself down the inside of Larson. Gets a bit out of shape on the exit of Juncow. Kemp was now battling with Lee on his fight back through the field. Kemp took a lot more curve in the second part of the centre S than Lee did, and he was straight through before he even made it onto the back straight. Kemp seemed to be suffering no problems after his slight contact with Kramer earlier on in the race. And a bit later on, Kemp is now right up against Ovi, almost making contact coming into Juncow, and that got him up into 4th place. But it turns out that Ovi was actually pitting that lap anyway, so he didn't need to make the move, and in fact Asco had actually retired at this point, so it was a move for 3rd and the final podium spot. Asco just coming into Juncow, and to quote Nick Ovi, completely couldn't be asked with talent. That ended his race and his hopes of finishing on the podium. Ellis was the first to stop again for the second round of stops. However, Larson carried on this time, staying out an extra lap. Kemp was next into pit lane on 3rd position. And a lap later Larson eventually made his stop. From here on in, it was Ellis's race to lose, as he was just going through the final part of the lap. Through John Cow. And he now regains the lead back from Larson. And that was how it remained for the last 5 or 6 laps. Ellis comfortably taking the victory by about 10 seconds. Larson came home in second. After a good drive, but couldn't quite keep up with Ellis in the end. Kemp came home in 3rd position to make a good comeback for the podium. Then it was Ovi coming home in 4th. 5th went to Nigel Lee, and by this point Matt Bai had already taken the final points position in 6th position, and that concluded the first round of GSC 100% provided by RCL. Join us in the next round where we will be at Curitiba.